All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Audience, thanks for being here and watching. If you're watching later, hello to you as well. This is going to be a fun night, I think, we hope. This is Zoom Shakespeare's Thanksgiving holiday Zoom special. We are taking the week off from our usual Shakespeare productions to do something a little different, a little fun, little free that everyone has pitched in something to do. We have a night full of monologues, scenes, some comedy, some poetry, maybe a song or two, and a couple originals that I hope you will all enjoy. Thank you for all our participants for being here. Thank you to Rebecca for running the Zoom for us as well as participating. And I think here we are going to turn it off or turn it over to Briony to get us started, and then we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody.
This poem is called Have a Nice Day, and it's by Spike Milligan. "Help, help," said a man. "I'm drowning," said a man from the shore. "Help, help," said the man. "I'm not clowning." "Yes, I know, I heard you before. Be patient, dear man who is drowning. You see, I've got a disease. I'm waiting for Dr. J. Browning. So do be patient, please." "How long," said the man who was drowning, "will it take for the doc to arrive?" "Not very long," said the man with the disease. "Till then, try staying alive." "Very well," said the man who was drowning. "I'll try to stay afloat by reciting the poems of Browning and other things he wrote." "Help," said the man with the disease. "I suddenly feel quite ill." "Keep calm," said the man who was drowning. "Breathe deeply and lie quite still." "Oh dear," said the man with the awful disease. "I think I'm going to die." "Farewell," said the man who was drowning. Said the man with the disease. "Goodbye." So the man who was drowning drowned, and the man with the disease passed away. But apart from that, and a fire in my flat, it's been a very nice day.
The School by Donald Barthelme. Well, we had all these children out planting trees, see, because we figured that was part of their education, to see how, the root systems, and also the sense of responsibility, taking care of things, being individually responsible. You know what I mean. And the trees all died. They were orange trees. I don't know why they died. They just died. Something wrong with the soil, possibly. Or maybe the stuff we got from the nursery wasn't the best. We complained about it. So we've got 30 kids there. Each kid has his or her own little tree to plant, and we've got these 30 dead trees. All these kids looking at these little brown sticks, it was depressing. It wouldn't have been so bad except that just a couple of weeks before the thing with the trees, the snakes all died. But I think that the snakes, well, the reason that the snakes kicked off was that, you remember the boiler was shut off because of the strike, and that was explicable. It was something you could explain to the kids because of the strike. I mean, none of the parents would let them cross the picket line, and they knew there was a strike going on and what it meant. So when things got started up again and we found the snakes, they weren't too disturbed. With the herb gardens, it was probably a case of overwatering. And at least now they know not to overwater. The children were very conscientious with the herb gardens, and some of them probably, slipped them a little extra water when we weren't looking. Or maybe, well, I don't like to think about sabotage, although it did occur to us. I mean, it was something that crossed our minds. We were thinking that way probably because before that, the gerbils had died, and the white mice had died, and the salamander, well, now they know not to carry them around in plastic bags. Of course, we expected the tropical fish to die. That was no surprise. Those numbers, you look at them crooked and they're belly up on the surface. But the lesson plan called for a tropical fish input at that point. There was nothing we could do. It happens every year. You just have to hurry past it. We weren't even supposed to have a puppy. We weren't even supposed to have one. It was just a puppy the Murdoch girl found under a Gristade's truck one day, and she was afraid to run over it when the driver had finished making his delivery. So she stuck it in her knapsack and brought it to the school with her. So we had this puppy. As soon as I saw the puppy, I thought, oh Christ, I bet it will live for about 2 weeks and that's what it did. It wasn't supposed to be in the classroom at all. There's some kind of regulation about it. But you can't have a puppy when the puppy is already there, right in front of them, running around on the floor and yapping. They named it Edgar. That is, they named it after me. They had a lot of fun running after it and yelling, "Here, Edgar, nice Edgar." Then they'd laugh like hell. They enjoyed the ambiguity. I enjoyed it myself. I don't mind being kidded. They made a little house for it in the supply closet and all that. I don't know what it died of. Distemper, I guess. It probably hadn't had any shots. I got it out of there before the kids got to school. I checked the supply closet each morning routinely because I knew what was going to happen. I gave it to the custodian. And then there was this Korean orphan that the class adopted through the Help the Children program. All the kids brought in $25 a month. That was the idea. It was an unfortunate thing. The kid's name was Kim, and maybe we adopted him too late or something. The cause of death was not stated in the letter we got. They suggested we adopt another child instead and sent us some interesting case histories, but we didn't have the heart. The class took it pretty hard. They began, I think, nobody ever said anything to me directly, to feel that maybe there was something wrong with the school. But I don't think there's anything wrong with this particularly. I've seen better and I've seen worse. It was just a run of bad luck. We had an extraordinary number of parents passing away, for instance. There were, I think, 2 heart attacks and 2 suicides, 1 drowning, and 4 killed together in a car accident. 1 stroke. Had the usual heavy mortality rate among the grandparents, or maybe it was heavier this year, it seems so. And finally, the tragedy. The tragedy occurred when Matthew Wine and Tony Mavro-Gordo were playing over where they're excavating the new federal office building. There were all these big wooden beams stacked, at the edge of the excavation. There's a court case coming out of that. The parents are claiming that the beams were poorly stacked. I don't know what's true and what's not. It's been a strange year. I forgot to mention Billy Brandt's father, who was knifed fatally when he grappled with a masked intruder in his home. One day, we had a discussion in class. They asked me, where did they go? The trees, the salamander, the tropical fish, Edgar, the papas and mamas, Matthew and Tony. Where did they go? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. And they said, who knows? And I said, nobody knows. And they said, is death that which gives meaning to life? And I said, no, life is that which gives meaning to life. Then they said, but isn't death considered as a fundamental datum, the means by which the taken for granted mundanity of the everyday may be transcended in the direction of... I said, yes, maybe. They said, we don't like it. I said, that's sound. They said, it's a bloody shame. I said, it is. They said, will you make love now with Helen, our teaching assistant, so that we can see how it is done? We know you like Helen. I do like Helen, but I said I would not. We've heard so much about it, they said, but we've never seen it. I said I would be fired and that it was never, or almost never, done as a demonstration. Helen looked out of the window. They said, please, please make love with Helen. We require an assertion of value. We are frightened. I said that they shouldn't be frightened, although I am often frightened, and that there was value everywhere. Helen came and embraced me. I kissed her a few times on the brow. We held each other. The children were excited. Then there was a knock on the door. I opened the door, and the new gerbil walked in. They turned wildly.
This is a limerick by Edward Lear. There was a young lady whose eyes were unique as to colour and size. When she opened them wide, people all turned aside and started away in surprise.
Badgers. Yeah, bastards. Never mess with a badger. Yeah, I had a fight one once. Yeah, I was coming home from Feathers, full moon it was, and I thought I'd have this shortcut to Fletcher's Field. And we come to this clearing, and there he is. Big lad. Striping. Now, I've seen this one before. I mean, I logged a tree at him last June. But, never mind. He's here. With his two mates. And their backs are up. And you can just smell it on them. So, I've gotten out of this situation, so I make myself as big as I physically can. And I go, right! Let's have it, you stripy cunts! Big mistake. He's on me in a flash, followed by his two mates. I'm in hospital for a month, lose 5 pints of blood and 2 toes to him. So, I'm here to tell you, if they're going to get rid of the most of them, make sure they get the lot, because I'm here to tell you, badgers bear a grudge.
This is a poem of unknown origin called Harry's Orc. Harry had an orc in an hat bag, and the orc made an horrible row. Harry hit the orc with an heavy, hard hammer. Harry ain't got an orc now.
Miss Fairfax has just called to see Mr. Worthing on very important business, Miss Fairfax states.
Isn't Mr. Worthing in his library?
Mr. Worthing went over in the direction of the rectory some time ago.
Pray ask the lady to come out here. Mr. Worthing is sure to be back soon, and you can bring tea.
Yes, miss.
Miss Fairfax, I suppose one of the many good elderly women who are associated with Uncle Jack in some of his philanthropic work in London. I don't quite like women who are interested in philanthropic work. I think it is so forward of them.
Miss Fairfax.
Pray, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew. What a very sweet name. Something tells me that we are going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we have known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure,
And you will always call me Gwendolen, won't you?
if you wish.
That is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be a favorable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. Never heard of Papa, I suppose.
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I am glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is quite as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man. And certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duty, painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Mamma, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It is part of her system. So do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolen. I am very fond at being looked at.
You are here on a short visit, I suppose?
Oh, no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years here also?
Oh, no, I have no mother, nor, in fact, any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I am Mr.
Oh. It is strange he never mentioned to me that he had a ward. How secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that the news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you. But I am bound to state that now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish that you were, well, just a little older than you seem to be, and not quite so very luring in appearance. In fact, I may speak candidly.
Dear, I think that whenever anyone has pleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candor, Cecily, you're fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honor. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. The noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influence of the physical charms of others. Modern, no less ancient history supplies us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I mean, Gwendolen, did you say Ernest? Oh,
yes.
But it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
I'm sorry to say that they have not been on good terms for a long time.
Oh, that accounts for it. Now think of it. I have never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? Of course, you are quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian?
Sure. In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon.
Dearest Gwendolen, There is no reason why I should make a secret of you. Our little country newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
My darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Miss Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
I'm afraid be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you would care to verify the incident, pray do so. Travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I am so sorry, dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you, but I am afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I could tell you, dear Gwendolyn, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish, but I feel that since Ernest proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have gotten into, I will never reproach him married.
Due to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous. On an occasion of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Mr. Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I'm glad to say that I have never seen a spade. It's obvious that our social spheres have been widely different.
Shall I lay the tea here as usual, miss?
Yes, as you.
Are there many interesting walks in the vicinity, Miss?
Oh, yes, a great many. From the top of one of the hills, quite close as one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that's why you live in town.
Quite a well-kept garden this is.
I'm so glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody manages to exist in the country. If anybody who is anybody does. The country I was born.
This is what the newspaper cultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy are suffering as just as present. It is almost an epidemic amongst them, I've been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Thank you. Detestable girl, but I require tea. No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable at present.
Cake or bread or butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen at the best of houses nowadays.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar. And though I most distinctly asked for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extreme sweetness of my nature. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the machinations of any other girl, there are no lengths I would not go to.
From the moment I saw you, I distrusted you. I feel that you are false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are invariably right.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, I am trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have many other calls of the similar character to make in the neighborhood.
Oh, my own Ernest.
Gwendolyn, darling.
A moment. May I ask you, if you are engaged to being married to this young lady?
Dear little Cecily, of course not. Put such an idea into your pretty little head.
No. Thank you. You may.
There must be some sort of misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present around your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg.
This is Uncle Jack.
The ABC of Fruitiness by Patrick Winstanley. A is for apple, shiny and green. B is for banana, slightly obscene. Is for coconut, all matted and hairy. D is for date, hot, blind or scary. E is for end. I've got to conclude before I reach kumquat. It's much, much too.
Song is called 307 Ale. It's by Tom Smith, who claimed he wrote it for two reasons. Number one, he saw the title on a license plate. And number two, well, you'll know when we get to the end. There's many drinks you'll drink, my lads, on every world new. There's Saurian brandy, cranapple schnapps, and a good old Tullamore Dew. There's Bush and Beck and Bud and Bach, and others dark and pale. But I think you'll find the finest kind is 307 Ale. 307 Ale, my lads, 307 Ale. The finest drink that any bar has ever had for sale. It'll lay your whole damn world to waste, it'll make you fit and hale. There's nothing that you'll ever taste like 307 Ale, my lads, 307 Ale. It started down at empty one lazy summer day, when a couple of the frat boy techies started into play. They'd caught up on their schedule with a couple hours to kill, so they fitted out the cyclotron and made themselves a still. 307 Ale, my lads, 307 Ale. The finest drink that any bar has ever had for sale. It'll lay your whole damn world to waste, it'll make you fit and hale. There's nothing that you'll ever taste like 307 Ale, my lads, 307 Ale. There's added choice ingredients to brew a little brew, but they didn't know the wires were crossed in chamber number 2. A tiny bit of space got folded, things were looking queer, They turned the spout and then came out the world's first hyper beer. 307 ale, my lads, 307 ale. The finest drink that any bar has ever had for sale. It'll lay your whole damn world to waste, it'll make you inhale. There's nothing that you'll ever taste like 307 ale, my lads, 307 ale. It bubbled and it burbled and it glowed a nasty green. And what it did to test equipment frankly was obscene. It took a while to find a vial, it wouldn't burst to flame. Then they measured out its potency. And that's how it was named. There's many drinks you'll drink, my lads, but this one beats them all. 153, 3.5% alcohol. A beer brewed in a tesseract, it'll shoot you through the roof. Y'all are gonna hate me for this last line, and I didn't even write the song. And I've got lots and lots of proof. 307 ale, my lads, 307 ale. The finest bar has ever had for sale. It'll lay your whole damn world to waste. It'll make you fit and pale. It's like library paste with a stronger kick than toxic waste. Nothing that you'll ever taste like 307 ale.
This is a poem by the wonderful Philip Larkin, and it's called This Be the Verse. They fuck you up, your mum and dad. They may not mean to, but they do. They fill you with the faults they had and add some extras just for you. But they were fucked up in their turn by fools in old-style hats and coats who half the time were soppy stern and half at one another's. Man hands on, misery to it deepens like a coastal shelf. Get out as early as you can and don't have any kids yourself.
Right here? This good? Hello, my name is Rose Carboni. Oh crap, Ritz, sorry, Rose, Ritz. Yes, Carboni was my husband's name, but he's dead. Just kidding, he's not, actually he's not really dead. We're just divorced. I just prefer to think of him as dead. It cheers me right up. Oh my gosh, did I just do that? Oh my gosh, well, here I am doing my very first dating video. That is right, the very first dating video of Rose Ritz. And I'm already telling all you potential Mr. Video men of my dreams, I'm telling you now that I'm first. Yeah, good move, Rosie. But yes, I'm divorced. I love you forever. Not divorced. Actually, can we not talk about my divorce? Yeah, my divorce was sort of like open heart surgery, but without the anesthesia. It's kind of like my guts were just ripped out, spewed all over the floor, and nobody bothered to sedate me. Oh gosh, well, wasn't that attractive? To share with you. Okay, I bet my phone is ringing off the hook as we speak. Now, okay, yeah, about myself, right? Well, I just had to re-enter the workforce as a telemarketer. Yeah, Basically, I call people up, I try to sell them something, and they hang up on me. It's very fulfilling. Oh, and I just entered, signed up for a magic class at the local high school for adults. It was either magic or step aerobics, and quite frankly, magic just seemed, it seemed a little less exhausting. And to be even more frank, I thought I'd be more of a likely place to meet single men. Unfortunately, though, the class consists entirely of divorced women trying to find men. So, yeah, so it's like 7 divorced females learning to pull a coin from behind a child's ear. Yep. Well, at least I'm back in the game, even though next door there's 25 single, sweating, attractive men next door doing step aerobics. It's fine. You know, why would her dead husband dump her and run off with an older woman, you may ask? That's right, he had a midlife crisis. He didn't even have the decency to leave me for someone young and pretty and, I don't know, firm. He left me for a size 8 woman. Grandchild has a bad hip. So now you're really wondering what's wrong with Rose Ritz, right? Well, you know what? I don't care, Mr. Video Man. I don't. Because I've stayed up many a late night with nothing to comfort me except for my 32-inch TV sent away, all those tapes, to comfort me, and all those late night infomercial things, Tony Robbins, Richard Simmons, all those nuts who think they're psychic. And now I believe in myself. Stop the insanity. Deal a meal. I'm okay. And now, after 12 years of waking up to the same balding lump of deadwood, Rose Ritz is ready and in control, and had to stop the car 3 times on the way here to vomit to make this humiliating dating video, to the 1 to 1,000 chance that just maybe she could meet one decent guy and not spend the rest of her life alone, because her dead husband left her for a limping grandmother. No warning. I love someone more. And then he just left. And then it stopped. My life just stopped for 3 days, and somehow I am on the 6th anniversary of the collapse of my life. I got myself here to make the very, very first dating video of Rose Ritz. So choose me, Mr. Video Man. Please.
This is a silly poem by Spike Milligan. Said Hamlet to Ophelia, "I'll draw a sketch of thee. What sort of pencil should I use? To be or not?"
Well, Costello, I'm going to New York. Bucky Harris, the Yankees manager, gave me a job as coach for as long as you're covering the team.
Hey, look, Abbott, if you're the coach of the players.
I certainly do.
Well, I've never met the guys, so you'll have to tell me their names, and then I'll know who's playing on the team.
Oh, I'll tell you their names. But it seems to me they give these ball players nowadays very peculiar.
You mean funny names?
Strange names, pet names like Dizzy Dean.
Oh, his brother Daffy.
Daffy Dean.
And their French cousin.
French?
Gouffet.
Goudin, yes. Well, let's see. Who do we have on the bags? Okay. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on.
That's what I want to find out.
I say, who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
You're going to be the coach too?
Yes.
And you don't know the fellows' names?
Well, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who? Who?
The guy playing the...
Who is on?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name? Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who?
Yes.
Look, you got a first baseman.
Oh, certainly.
Who's playing first?
That's right.
When you pay the first baseman every month, who gets the money?
Every dollar of it.
All I'm trying to find out is the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
The guy that gets
That's it.
Who gets the money?
He does. Every dollar. Sometime comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Look, all I want to know is when you sign up the first baseman, how does he sign his name?
Who?
Guy.
Who?
How does he sign?
That's how he signs it.
Who?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base?
No. What is on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
One base at a time.
Don't change the players around.
I'm not changing nobody.
Take it easy, buddy.
I'm only asking you who's the guy on first base.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
What's the guy's name on first base?
No, what is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
He's on third. We're not talking about him.
How'd I get on third base?
Why you?
The third baseman's name? Who did I say is playing third?
No, who's playing first?
What's on first?
What's on second?
I don't know.
He's on third.
There I go, back on third again. Would you just stay on the third base and don't go off of it?
All right. What do you want to know?
Now, who's playing third base?
Why do you insist on putting who on third base?
What am I putting on third?
No. What is on second?
You don't want who on second?
Who is on first?
I don't know.
Third base.
Third base. Look, you got outfield?
Sure.
The left fielder's name.
Why?
Well, I just thought I'd ask you.
Well, I just thought I'd tell you.
Well, then tell me who's playing left field.
Who's playing first?
I'm not. Stay out of the infield. I want to know what's the guy's name in left field.
No. What is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Third base.
Okay. The left fielder's name. Because.
Oh, he's center field.
Look, you got a pitcher on the team?
Sure.
The pitcher's name?
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me today?
I'm telling you now.
Then go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow are you going to tell pitching?
Now listen, who is not
If you're on, you say who's on first. I want to know what the pitcher's name is.
What's on second?
No. Third
base.
You got a catcher?
Oh, certainly.
The catcher's name?
Today.
And tomorrow's pitcher.
Now you got it.
All we got is a couple of days on the team. You know, I'm a catcher too. I got behind the plate to do some fancy catching. Tomorrow's team, and a heavy hitter gets up. Now the heavy hitter bunts the ball. When he bunts the ball, me being a good catcher, I'm going to throw the guy out at first base. So I pick up the ball, throw it to who?
Now that's the first thing you said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
That's all you have to do.
Is to throw the ball to first base.
Yes,
Now who's got it?
naturally.
Look, I throw the ball to first base. Somebody's got to get it. Now who has it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
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 So I pick up the ball and I throw it naturally.
No, you don't. You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's different.
That's what I said.
You're not saying it.
I throw the ball to naturally.
You throw it to who?
Naturally.
That?
That's what I said.
You asked me.
I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Now you ask me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's it.
Throw the ball to who? Whoever it is drops the ball and the guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball? What throws it to? I don't know. Throws it back to tomorrow. Triple play. Another guy gets a long fly ball to because. Why? I don't know. He's on third and I don't give a damn.
Wait, what?
I said I don't give a damn.
Oh, that's our shortstop.
This is a famous poem called The Cow by Ogden Nash. The cow is of ilk. One end is moo, the other.
This is Stephen Saltsman's Wedding Toast. So there's this one time that we were out on the lake. This was up in Michigan, and it was the first day you could feel the sun in the middle of the brutal winter. Jacob and I were headed out, and I started drilling to fish, you know. Now, if you've never had winter-caught bluegill from one of the 11,000 lakes in Michigan, you basically never had fish. Although not from Lake Michigan, because that would be gross. Yeah. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm drilling down into the ice and Jacob is getting the canteen with the hot chocolate and suddenly, crack, the ice starts to break and I fall in. Now, Jacob is a Boy Scout, so he knows what to do in these situations. Quick as lightning, he ties a rope around his waist and hooks it up and flips it over the tree next to him. And then he jumps in the ice to get me, but the ice breaks under him too. But he's got the rope, right? And so he grabs onto me and he pulls himself out on the rope. And next thing I know, we'd been stripped of our wet clothes, wrapped in a warm blanket, and I was undergoing blood warming from the EMT. I don't think I'll ever forget it. The point is, if it weren't for Jacob, I wouldn't be alive right now. Okay, well, Jacob and the EMTs, where would I be without their expertise? And then I guess their training wouldn't be much of anything without the hypothermia and cold exposure experiments performed by the Nazis. Huh. I guess in a weird way, I owe them a debt of gratitude. That does feel weird. I mean, I think that we can all agree that Hitler was not great. But how many lives have been saved, including mine specifically, from all that research, you know? In theory, if we extrapolate out to infinite time, the knowledge could save billions. And when I say not great, I mean morally, definitely below average. But I don't think anyone can say he wasn't a great public speaker. I mean, wow. Admittedly, I couldn't tell what he's saying, but I feel motivated, you know? Like I could take on the world. I mean, they couldn't. They tried. They were close, but still. Also, when I say morally below average, I suppose I mean in a modern moral objectivist sense, like from a Ten Commandments Kantian perspective, but from a more utilitarian perspective, he did rescue an entire country from the drudges that followed the First World War. Perhaps not all of us would pay the price that it cost us in the lives of Jews and Blacks and gays and jazz musicians, but surely we can all agree that we live better lives in a better world now than folks did before. And who likes jazz anyway? I digress. I suppose what I'm trying to say is congratulations to the happy couple. Jacob, Rebecca, I hope that you both live long and happy lives together. Mazel tov.
This is another rhyme, a classic rhyme from unknown origins. Fuzzy Wuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. So Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he?
Come on. Come on. Stupid Zoom thing. Ah,
Hello. Hi. Suicide helpline.
finally. I was beginning to believe no one would ever pick up.
Please excuse the delay, but lately we've been extremely busy.
Yes, right. I suppose it's a sign of the time.
2020 has certainly been a banner year for us here at Suicide.
An odd way of phrasing it.
How do you mean?
Banner usually implies something very positive.
Yes.
Are you implying that your phone's ringing off the hook for people calling with suicidal intentions is a positive thing?
It's a marvelous thing when outcome exceeds expectations. We take our services at Suicide Helpline very seriously. It's a good feeling to fulfill a purpose.
I suppose it must be very rewarding to dissuade the unfortunate people, such as myself, from committing suicide.
How would we do that?
What?
Prevent suicide.
I'm slightly confused. You were going on about how wonderful it is to exceed expectation of purpose, and am I not correct that your purpose is to prevent suicide?
Oh no! Just the opposite.
Oh, now I'm in a complete fog. This is Suicide Helpline, is it not?
Yes, it is, but you've made a very common error. It happens all of the time.
What does?
Well, you see, we're the Suicide Helpline. I think you wanted to call the Suicide Hotline.
What's the difference?
Well, the hotline would sit and let you go on and on, whimpering like a dog that you just got hit by a truck, refer you to some expensive therapist or clinic and tell you that the sun will always come out tomorrow. Well, we at the Suicide are here to help you reach your goal and complete your suicide.
Suicide? You help people kill themselves?
We prefer to say that we facilitate a person's desire to eliminate all negative aspects from their lives.
Is that even?
It's called death with dignity. 8 states have legalized it. However, we found that most people who contemplate suicide do not have any concern for breaking the law. After all, what can the legal system do? Prosecute a dead person?
It's happened to Cromwell.
To who?
Oliver Cromwell. He was dug out of Westminster Abbey, put in chains, hung and beheaded. And this was after he died of natural causes.
So he didn't commit suicide?
No, but it does go to show how far the arm of the law will go to prosecute.
Well, it would seem to me that if you're so concerned about what happened to your friend Oliver and legal issues, that you're not ready for suicide.
Oliver Cromwell's not important. You're quite right. I may not be, as you said, ready for suicide, but it still may be the course I take. And I want... It's just that lately I'm feeling down.
Oh, then you should call the Feeling Down hotline. Of course! These days, everything is in degrees. Why have open heart surgery if all you're feeling is indigestion? Would you like the number?
Oh, that's just the thing. I think I may be past the down stage and I'm full into jumping off a bridge stage.
Oh, what bridge?
What do you mean, what bridge?
Well, it's very important to pick the right bridge. Can you swim?
Swim? Yes, I can swim.
Oh, then you wouldn't want to pick a bridge over water. You might hit the water and start freaking out that you're drowning and start swimming to save your life.
Thanks for the information.
That's what we're here for at Suicide Helpline. It's also important to make sure you have picked a high enough bridge to make the landing fatal.
Okay. I don't see jumping being my way. Actually, I'm afraid of heights.
Oh, so how would you like to kill yourself?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting this kind of help.
Oh, so you want me to tell you that you've so much to live for, peachy, if you just get some rest.
That might be of some service.
Wrong number.
I get that now, but as a person, just at least a little interested in turning someone away themselves.
I am here to help each person reach their full potential.
Yes, but...
Look, do you have anything worth living for? I mean, you're not in a relationship and you're... Well,
how do you know that?
Well, if you had someone meaningful in your life, you wouldn't be whining to me.
I'm not whining.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're not hearing it from my end. Okay, so no love in your life and no job.
How do you know that?
It's the middle of the day, in the middle of the week. If you had a job, you'd be working.
Maybe I'm on holiday.
Great way to spend a vacation. Do you have a job?
No.
And if you were working, what kind of work would it be?
Acting. I'm an actor. A Shakespearean actor. To be or not to be.
Is that a question? An actor? Another reason to kill yourself.
Wait. Being an actor is not a reason to kill yourself.
Yeah, well, tell that to George Reeves, Robin Williams, and Marilyn Monroe. By the way, what would I have seen you in?
Actually, I haven't had any commercial success.
Have you considered a gun?
No! That just seems so final.
Isn't that the point?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm more confused now than I was before I started this call.
Okay, so no successful career, no job, no relationship. What's the point of living?
What about tomorrow?
Well, that depends on when you decide to end it. I mean, there is no tomorrow after that decision's been made.
I know. But isn't life made up of the possibilities of what may be? Even if up till now nothing is working out, that things cannot improve.
Come on, Horace. Be real. Things are not going to change tomorrow or 10 years now because you'll be the same person tomorrow as you are now. Your life will never be different because you'll never be different.
But I have plodded along for this long. I can keep going. I can try something new.
Like what?
I don't know.
Be a man without a plan. No plan, no future. You can't even plan the end of your life.
Because I don't want to end it.
You what?
I don't want to end my life. Yes, I've had some setbacks. Not all of my relationships have been perfect. But I have had relationships. I have loved. And I was loved. That can happen again.
Not without a job. Women, I mean, assuming it is women that you fancy, expect a man to be financially stable.
I can change that. I've been thinking of starting a Shakespearean youth theatre. I could direct. I can do that.
No, Shakespeare and youth just doesn't sound like it goes together.
No. You'll be surprised just how much young people are yearning for the bard. They crave the challenge and the tradition of the Shakespearean stage. This can work, and I can do it.
I don't know, Horace. What if you're not successful? What if you fail again? You're just going to end up back here. Why not just get it all over with tonight? I mean, you're one necktie away from eternal peace.
No, I was confused when I called, but I am no longer confused. I want to live. I want to make a difference and help young actors reach their goals. I'll give them such stuff that dreams are made on. I am sorry for you that you have this horrible job. I think it may weigh very heavily on your mind, and soon you will be asking those very same questions from a very tall building. But I will not be going quietly into the night. I am going to live, and I will rail against our mistress the world and all our misery.
Well, as you like it. Good luck with that.
I won't need it. I'm going to change my life. Men at some time must be masters of their fates, Brutus.
Anna!
What? Well, in spite of everything you try to do, Anna, I will succeed. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything. So, Anna, whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore, our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever farewell, Anna. If we do meet again, why we shall smile. If not, why then this parting was well made.
To do a great right, do a little wrong. Hello, Suicide Helpline.
Here's another anonymous poem, a classic rhyme. A bug and a flea went to sea on a reel of cotton. The bug was drowned, but the flea was found, stuck to a mermaid's bottom.
The Fable of January and May, freely adapted from The Merchant's Tale by Sara. Characters: January, around 90, very old. May, 20s, very fresh and young. And Damien, January's randy assistant. Setting: imagine the estate of rich old January and his secret garden with a wondrous pear tree. Time: the internet age, when Chaucer was writing. Brief synopsis: the old and cold man January wishes to take a fresh young wife. He finds the same is complicated by a certain degree of strife. For though this aging dotard picks the fairest flower, that's May, he finds his randy secretary finds a way to roll May in the hay.
Today we've come to play for you The Merchant's Tale by Chaucer.
And when our tale is over, then we'll pass around the saucer.
The tale of rich old January and his loving wife Mary.
A cautionary tale, we'd say, why you shouldn't marry past your day.
The characters in our play today are listed to 3. The lovely May, the old man, he, and January's coming, chatting, gay, and handsome assistant, Damien. That's me.
And now to our tale. Imagine, please, old January's magnificent estate, a mansion, grounds, and servants too, plus a garden that your minds must recreate.
Now, January was a rich old man whose movements were as slow as a tortoise. Instead of blood, he had ice in his veins. His shin, so you'd think he'd already got rigor mortis. His 4 or 5 hairs were as white as snow, his skin dry as parchment. His thin shin was thin, his chest depressed, his limb too slim for garments. He had Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, cataract, and gout, and 1,000 more diseases medicines can't yet hear about. Now,
Damien, lad, I wish to wed, though my face and form are shriveled, and enjoy my nubile wife in bed.
Feck, sir, that's such a drivel. To take young age with the youngest wife? Do you really think that's wise? Through your course of your decision? I don't mean to criticise, but if you take a bride of 20, you best be younger. And now you're past 92, well, you're just a dirty old man that's trying to be flirty.
I know what they say. He's just like the month, all frigid and undesirable. Nasty old man who no one can stand and nobody finds at all admirable. You'll find yourself when you reach my age. You start thinking about eternity, and never having had a legitimate heir, I wish to claim paternity. Now I don't want some weazened crone I can hardly bear to see. It's bad enough for her to have to look on me. Instead, I want the most luscious, scrumptious, fertile girl in all the nation. And that's why it's your job to search for her, both high and low, all over creation.
And so I combed the internet. I used all the social medias. I friended thousands on Facebook, scouted hundreds yet. The job was unexpectedly quite tedious. But then I found her, the girl that would wake the dead.
That's me.
And that's the girl I brought old January for bed.
Oh, lovely May, so fresh and gay. To see her is an everyday joy. Such firm and perky breasts, such thighs and all the rest. It said last year she actually posed for Playboy. With such a heavenly beauty, can I perform my husband's duty? Run, Damien, fill my prescription for Viagra. She's truly even more beautiful than the Taj, which everybody knows is in India, actually Agra.
He's a nice old guy and he's loaded too, but he really wasn't good at all in bed. He tried his best, a rest, but his little old thing kept drooping its little head. He was stumbling, bumbling, mumbling, grumbling, crumbling, fumbling, hit or miss, and despite at least a dozen tries, he couldn't find my clitoris. Well, I'm sure you got the idea by now, since I'm running out of runs. Once a guy hits 90, he can't shtup a girl worth a dime.
Oh, woe, my quest to sire and heir has fallen. For lovely flower though she may be a mother.
But then that guy who brought me here, I've seen him in the pool in just a Speedo, with a bod like a god and what looks like quite a rod. Well, I'm guessing he's exactly what I need. Oh. So Damien, where the hell could he be?
As it happens, I'm sick in bed, with fever, chill 1003, sore throat, and muscle pain, aching head. So I asked my doctor why I was sick. Well, I actually sent him an email. He sent me there was no doubt, and my symptoms were about. There's no question. It was lack of company female.
Poor Damien is sick. Soup will do the trick. I'll dispatch my maid to nurse him all day. I'm not worried, not a lick, that he tried to use his hands on my lovely wife, because the boy is gay.
Come on, big boy, eat your soup.
Oh, it's disgusting. It tastes like gloop. But you could join me here in bed for a nice surprise.
Why? You're trying to hump my rump. You're just another Donald Trump. And here I thought you were on.
Well, that's what January thinks after a few drinks. He's such a fool because he's an intellectual. But in fact, I must confess, I'll play with either sex, because I'm either desperate for love, because I'm not gay per se. I'm what you call bisexual.
Oh, well, that's a huge relief. It will spare me so much grief. And I'm frustrated to no end. After an hour with your boss, I'll be filing for divorce. But I'm still a desperate man.
That's me. And so what's next?
I'll write you a text.
And where should we meet?
I'll send you a tweet.
The most important thing is how to fool the old man.
We'll work that out real soon. Not too hard with that buffoon. And I'm starting to form the outlines of a plan. Do you know his garden? It's his secret garden place with all his prized possessions, and statues in a bower, a unicorn that's only 2 feet tall. I stole the only key so you can take a wax impression. Then you can make a copy at the mall. We'll have our fun round midnight in the dark. No one will see. You'll unlock the gate. You'll go inside and climb way up a tree.
And this pear tree? How do I find it? Does he have this pear tree a partridge?
It's not too hard. I'd give you a map, but my printer needs a cartridge.
May choose January off. Night. May is now January.
Husband?
My love?
January?
May.
Do you know what I'd really love right now, before it's break of day? Pear.
A pear at midnight, dear? Why not a bagel and coffee?
No, I crave some fruit, though what kind is moot. So as long as Damien's waiting there to off me, pears are the sweetest fruits of aroma indescribable. Eaten out of hand, they taste so grand, and in a liquor so wondrously imbibable. I'd really love a pear right now. We've got Anhros, Bosks, and Bartlett's, and if I could pluck me just a few, Cook will bake them in a tartlet.
January and May now explore the garden. Damien enters unobserved.
The garden's very dark. In fact, my eyes aren't yet dilated. This adventure is so much harder than I first anticipated. That tree is high. It stretches to the sky.
So let me climb on your back, I'd say.
I'll have a heart attack.
But I've thought this through. It's the only way.
Ho ho!
Tee.
Here we go.
Up in a tree.
And what's with all that rocking back and forth? Such clattering and rattling, such clickety-clack. I'm breaking my back. And all this for a pear? There's the store just 2 miles north. But now it's morn. My eyes are clear. Your ruse has been ineffectual. I thought you were homosexual. No.
He's bisexual.
He's bisexual?
He's bisexual.
You've been fucking my little wife. Though I no longer give a fig. The sweet girl that I married. Oh my God. And all these hot gymnastics while my shoulder blades were stupid. I should have known with you two. Sooner or later I'd be duped. I've been blind. I've been so blind.
I'm fine. You just need the new prescription for your glasses. You just put on the right pair and you left them in your nightwear. You'd see those were really merely rocks, not our round bare asses.
Give the benefit of the doubt? While his dingaling is out?
Sir, truth to tell, he only had to tinkle.
Take me for a fool? when I see that massive tool, and I've read the script as penned by Mr. Rinkel. I loved you both in all the world. No two were ever dearer. But if this is how you repay my trust, my path by now is clearer. I'll file for divorce. The lusty boy is fired, of course. You couldn't wait till I was safely dead and gone. You'd have all my goods and money since I made you both my heirs. But now I'll update my will and you'll have none.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but you can't do that, sir, because all your assets are in a trust, the terms of which are irrevocable, so leave my half as a must. But all I ever cared was about the money anyway. I'll leave you to your squabbling, and with the fair and lovely May, who, as it happens, after all those pairs, I'll tell you, by the way, despite her impressive bra size, wasn't a great lay.
Up yours, you rotten, stinking, stuck-up, muscle-bound maggots.
Whatever you do, don't you dare rhyme that too. I suggest whatever thought you had, just bag it.
My husband, can you please forgive me? It's you with whom I wish to live. And as for that lascivious little puppy, his one asset aside, though he gave me quite a ride, he's worth no more than a minnow or a guppy.
This has all been such a terrible, miserable, absurd, and pathetic muddle. When at my age, all I really want to do is hug my girl and cuddle. The warmth of her body next to mine would thaw the ice in my veins. We could stay that way all till the end of time, and she'd make me feel human once again.
Cuddling is nice. I ask for nothing more. Besides, after this morning, my insides are rather sore.
I'll share all I've known and learned with you about poetry, theater, music, and the arts. And that's how I'll make love to you.
Just so long as you control your little farts.
And that concludes Master Chaucer's tale of January and May.
We hope you've learned a thing or two and had some fun today.
The moral of this little story was a bit hard to find.
It's that even though I'm old and cold and smelly, I'm not so gone that I can't still quote from Shelley, whose famous Ode to the West Wing comes to mind.
If winter comes,
can spring be far behind?
End of play.
Hello. I'll be doing an abridged version of A Holy Night, followed by Jack Kelly's monologue from the musical Newsies. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks our new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, or hear the angels' voices. All night divine. when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night, oh, night divine. Oh, night divine. Alrighty, and Jack's monologue. Listen, fellas, I know someone put you up to this. Probably paid you some extra money too, yeah? Well, it ain't right. Polta thinks we're gutter rats with no respect for nothing, including each other. Is that who we are? Well, yeah, we stab each other in the back, and yeah, that's who we are. But if we stick together, we change the whole game, and it ain't just about us. No. All across the city, there are boys and girls who ought to be playing and going to school. Instead, they're slaving to support themselves and their folks. Ain't no crime to be a poor. And not one of us complains if the work we do is hard. All we ask is a square deal. Fellas, for the sake of all the kids and for every boy and girl in every sweatshop, factory, and slaughterhouse in this town, I beg you, throw down your papes and join the strike. And scene.
This is The Quangle Wangle's Hat by Edward Lear. On the top of the crumpety tree, the Quangle Wangle sat, but his face you could not see on account of his beaver hat. For his hat was 102 feet wide, with ribbons and bibbons on every side, and bells and buttons and loops and lace, so that nobody ever could see the face of the Quangle Wangle Quee. The Quangle Wangle said to himself on the crumpety tree, "Jam and jelly and bread are the best of food for me, but the longer I live on this crumpety tree, the plainer than ever it seems to me that very few people come this way, and that life on the whole is far from gay," said the Quangle Wangle Quee. But there came to the crumpety tree Mr. and Mrs. Canary, and they said, "Did you ever see any spot so charmingly airy? May we build our nest on your lovely hat? Mr. Quangle Wangle, grant us that. Oh, please let us come and build a nest of whatever material suits you best, Mr. Quangle Wangle Quee." And besides, to the crumpety tree came the stork, the duck and the owl, the snail and the bumblebee, the frog and the fimblefowl with the corkscrew leg. And all of them said, "We humbly beg we may build our homes on your lovely hat. Mr. Quangle Wangle, grant us that, Mr. Quangle Wangle Quee." And the golden grouse came there, and the pobble who has no toes, and the small Olympian bear, and the dong with the luminous nose, and the blue baboon who played the flute, and the orient calf from the land of Toot, and the attery squash, and the bisky bat, all came and built on the lovely hat of the Quangle Wangle Quee. And the Quangle Wangle said to himself on the crumpety tree, "When all these creatures move, what a wonderful noise there'll be." And at night, by the light of the mulberry moon, they danced to the flute of the blue baboon on the broad green leaves of the crumpety tree, and all were as happy could be, with the quangle wangle quee.
Okay, my play Stage Fright was loosely inspired by Louis Buñuel's The Exterminating Angel. And if you know the film, you'll recognize, I think, some of the allusions. If not, no matter. In the play, 5 actors, of whom one has to be male, one female, and one has to stutter, are on an empty stage. And actors 1 through 4 are seated in various areas of the audience, but wherever they can easily mount the stage at the end. Actor 5 enters later and sits wherever he can disrupt the most audience members. And a brief synopsis is that at curtain time, 5 members of a cast are seated in the audience, unwilling or unable to go on stage. Will the show go on? And since we didn't have a chance to rehearse, let me just make one note that please try to keep your audio and video actors on at all times and pick up those cues. This play should go like the wind. Thank you. So, at Rise, the stage is empty, with the audience waiting for a program of short plays to start. As the minutes go on, eventually some people speak up. Who could be members of the audience, but actually are the actors? And what would happen if actual audience members participate too? Well, then the actors can just improvise around them until they can get around back at track. Take it away.
All right, already. It's past 8. Let's go. Hey, who are you to shh me?
Always one person totally rude and inconsiderate who has to spoil the experience for everybody else.
Yeah, and that one person is.
Look, there's a 7-minute rule that if the play is scheduled for 8, it actually starts at 8:07. Latecomers.
Who usually are the ones who live 2 blocks from the theater.
As opposed to those of us who live 50 miles away and get here 1 hour early.
All right, you made your point. Now shut up and be quiet.
Now this one wants quiet.
I need to get in the mood.
Well, I have 8:05.
I have 8:09.
Well, you're fast.
You're slow in more than one sense of the word.
Oh.
Excuse me. Sorry. So sorry. Excuse me. Was that your foot?
See, it's 8:06. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let that one in.
And of course, they have to sit right in the middle of the row, which means everybody else has to inconvenience themselves.
Also a rule that if you come early, you buy the aisle seats.
Well, you be quiet, you idiot.
Hey, who are you calling an idiot?
8:07?
8:07, and nothing's happening.
It could be a perfectly good reason. Some technical glitch, perhaps. Why, just last week, I took a flight from Dallas to LA that was held at the gate an hour when they found a leaky brake cylinder. One should never judge.
And you, our prize latecomer, how far do you live from the theater?
2 blocks over.
Knew it!
Well, it's obviously 8:07 by now.
Well, 8:08.
8:08. No sign of anything. So much for your 7-minute rule.
They're charging $25 for this ticket. Well, $20 for seniors.
Highway robbery for this dump.
I got in free.
Oh, wow.
Just an arrangement I have. You know the right people. You can even get into Hamilton for free. Great seats any day.
I'd like to know how you do that.
can't really divulge.
Anybody heard about this play?
Yeah, it's supposed to be experimental.
Oh, God, no. What are we, a bunch of lab rats? Would you please excuse me?
Sit down!
Sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Everybody, please calm down. We might as well make the best of it.
The best of what? It's 8:12 and there's still nothing happening.
You're fast.
Did anyone read the reviews?
Uniformly terrible. The only good thing is the set.
But there is no set.
Precisely.
Oh, God.
No, I've heard it's so bad, the actors don't even want to go on stage.
It's that bad. Why are you here?
Well, why are you?
I asked you first.
8:10, and my watch is guaranteed accurate.
It's 8:07.
8:13?
Who cares?
Oh, bad brake cylinder?
My understanding is that half the actors who got offers turned them down. And once they finally cast are so embarrassed, they won't even invite their families.
Right, but they signed contracts requiring them to be in the theater by 8:07 or they'll lose pay.
Oh, well, what pay? $10 a night plus a stale donut and weak coffee in a styrofoam cup.
No, don't shush her. Truth always comes out, even though, as the Lord Polonius puts it, it were hid indeed within the center. I'll have you know, I played that part once, opposite the...
Oh, who gives a damn? Stop regaling us with your resume.
At least I have a resume.
No thanks to you for letting the cat out of the bag.
Oh, don't blame me. All these people sitting here thinking they're going to see a play, half of them ready to walk out and ask for their money back, and then they find the actors are seated in the audience unwilling to go on the stage.
It's like we're playing out some Luis Buñuel film.
Who?
Speak for yourself, Rebecca. So why are you not up there?
Up there?
Now you let the cat out of the bag.
I asked you a question. Why are you not up there?
Because I...
Well, that's it's clear as a bell.
And how about Lord Polonius, who played opposite what's his name at some 2-year college no one's heard of?
Well, I can't say precisely, but my reasons are good.
Even more clear.
All I know is we've got all 5 members of the cast here depriving the theater of all this revenue while we've parked our asses here because we're too scared to go on.
Speak for yourself.
And for every person here who's paid full freight, 2 are comped, 2 are equity, and 3 are papering the house.
I'd like just one of us to give a good reason why.
It's 8:17.
8:17, thank you. We're not on the stage doing our jobs. Come on, who goes first?
I would say you should.
I can't rightly say why. It's like there's the hand out there preventing me.
Oh, give me a break.
And you?
You?
More like this unseen force.
Oh, an unseen force.
Yeah, an unseen force.
Yeah, an unseen force.
And what's Seth Polonius?
Well, in my case, it's certainly no hand or unseen force. More a matter of professional dignity in the face of a script in shambles, a stage manager who can barely manage himself, director who ought to be directed out of the theater.
Rick's our director.
Script wasn't that bad.
Very professional stage manager.
You know what it is? Hand, force, whatever. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very honest with all of you. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hogwash.
I go out there and I think,
What if I forget my lines?
What if they want me to take my clothes off?
And what if they don't want me to take my clothes off?
Audiences don't want to see what we go through.
The notice on backstage.
The audition.
If you get one.
What if I don't get a call back?
What if I do get a call back?
Will they tell me what I did wrong?
Will they not tell me what I did wrong?
What if I can't make all the dates?
What if I don't like the script?
My castmates.
Director.
Producer.
The stage manager.
Playwright.
The who?
Do they pay?
Pay?
They writes a script. Their work is done.
Well, except the 5,000 rewrites 2 hours before opening.
Director's work all behind the scenes. Downstage left. No, upstage right. That line more slowly. No, pick it up.
Stage manager just gets coffee and screams at you for missing call 2 hours before opening. If you can't get the 6:55, get the 5:55 instead. Hang around for 3 hours and do nothing.
Light and sound all preset. Computers.
But us. We go out there. We're naked.
Tell me about it.
But it's your only talent.
At least people want to see my body.
I don't.
I wouldn't mind.
It's so humiliating. Like I'm up there freezing.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Well, maybe just a little.
And then the reviews.
Too short.
Tall.
Too young?
Old.
Too fat.
Too thin.
Overacts.
Underacts.
Unconvincing.
Miscast.
Don't quit your day job.
Oh, God, you people nauseate me. You're supposed to be professionals. You got cast for these roles. The audience is waiting, and now you're finding every excuse to sit in the warm, safe, dark cocoon of the spectator seats when you should be up there in front of all these good people doing the job you were hired to do.
Look who's talking.
I can't be expected to do the whole play on my own without my supporting cast.
So now he's the lead?
We're all equals here.
Oh, he's surprised he doesn't do it all as a monologue.
Surprised he didn't do all of Hamlet as a monologue.
So let's have the truth already.
Why aren't you out there?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Truth already.
Though we're, as they say, hid indeed within the center.
You want the truth?
No, we just want you to lie.
And none of it Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth crap.
All right. The truth. You want the truth. Truth is, I get stage fright.
That's all?
That's what we said.
Yeah, we're afraid.
We're afraid.
We're afraid.
Afraid and sometimes naked.
So high and mighty.
No, it's not what you think. Mine is worse. 10 times worse.
Right. Oh, look at me. My stage fright can lick your stage fright.
No, truth is, I've never acted on a stage before. Yes, I audition. I get cast. I even go through rehearsals. But I'm so terrified I can't get out there. I get vertigo. I feel like the top of my head is coming off. I vomit.
Hey, well, who doesn't? I mean, sometimes I even throw up. And don't look at me that way. I know what throw up means.
So I find any excuse I can. I've been in an accident. I've got stage 4 colon cancer. My mother died. My mother's died 7 times already. No one ever checks. Even that time I played Polonius opposite, I can't even remember. I never appeared on stage. They always find a sub. But since I'm listed as the primary, I've got a nice fat resume.
Well, I'll be.
What a crock.
Please don't judge me too harshly.
We gotta report you to equity.
You're just a fraud.
A disgrace to the profession.
Fraud.
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 I know. I don't even know how you people do it, or even why you do it.
Because.
Because
makes me feel alive.
I love creating a character.
Knowing they're with you.
Ending your jokes.
Once I get on stage, I never stutter.
Plus.
The applause.
The applause.
The applause.
The applause.
Come on. I mean, if we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got your back.
We're with you.
All for one and one for all.
We're a team.
A family.
A cast.
Mensch blasja.
So what do you say?
It's 8:37.
8:42.
Oh, who gives a crap?
Show must go on.
So come on, Ian. You ready?
You ready?
The audience is waiting.
Break a leg.
Break 2.
Break every bone in your body.
Just get out there and do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, I'll go on. Oh God, I'm gonna faint. Will someone turn off that goddamn cell phone? Oh, it's mine.
Clive makes his way on stage, disrupting as many audience members as possible, and followed by the others mounting the stage and offering encouragement. End of play. Thank you.
We started this wonderful show with Spike Milligan, so let's end it with his Ode to a Goldfish. Oh, wet pet.
Well, I guess that was it. Everyone come back on, please. Everyone who's still here. Well done. Well done. Well done. Briony, fantastic. Larry, loved your bits. Loved what everyone did. Had some fun song. Had some great monologues, some great scenes. This was great. Thank you for everyone who participated. Thank you for the audience. Whether you just finished watching it or you'll watch it later. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Rebecca, again. And Rebecca, if you wouldn't mind reminding people what's coming up soon.
Yes, join us on next Friday, the 4th, for Richard III. We are 2 plays away from being done with the histories. We're so close. 2 more King plays, then we're done with those. Have a good night.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.